What's going on, guys? My name is Ezell, and this is my wife,
Yelsa.
and welcome to our reaction channel,
The Ezell's Reacts.
Now, today we are checking out mediocre tutorials and reviews. His channel, he just dropped something called "I Tell My Boyfriend He's Lucky." I gave him the kitty emoji. To everyone in the past, or I would cheat on him now. The title just sounds
crazy,
kind of crazy. Okay. Which is why I had to click on and see what's going on. And at first I was gonna go and check out the sources of his material and review it that way ourselves. And I said, you know what? Let me see what he has to say about it too. So let's react to all of this and see what's going on. All right. So let's see what's going on. Let's check it out.
What up, YouTube? I am your host, mediocre tutorials and reviews, back in here with one more video. All right, guys, you know what time it is. It's time to get active. Shout out to my Instagram at mediocre tutorials and reviews, link down in the description box down below if you want to follow your boy as well as send me content. But just as usual, y'all guys come through with some hot fire, all right? Shout out as well to 8 at the Table, fantastic content creators. They had a video that they recently released called "Can You Wife an Ex with a Past Reputation?" Now, I saw a snippet of a snippet. I have not seen the entirety of the video, but there's 2 clips I want to bring you here today. The first clip I wanted to call out is because this is where I initially saw this video or snippet to this video, and I was just like, what? So we got to go over that. And then there's a group conversation and dynamic later that I think kind of wraps it all in. So we're going to go over both of those today, all right? Without further ado.
Alan, how about this? It's not a whole lot of bodies, it's a whole lot of experience. And let me tell you something. No, it's not. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I had to get experience. But for me to be the girl that you're so in love with in the bedroom, I'm sorry, you don't want to know how I learned how to do that thing that you like. You don't want to learn how to do it that way. I had to go through a couple of penises to learn that I don't like big dick. I don't, that's not how I orgasm. That's not how I like to get hit from the back. I'm sorry, I appreciate all the bodies, because it made me the super one when I am in the bedroom for the that I plan to spend the rest of my life with. And also, having a lot of bodies, I tell my now, I'm glad you met me in the space that I am now. Why? Because I done everybody I wanted to. So it's easy for me to be faithful.
Oh, wow.
So let's pause the video right there. I had to let it play the entire way through just so you guys can understand what it is that she's talking about. She started off and she said, it's not a whole lot of bodies, it's a whole lot of experience. Now, this is the question that I pose to you, okay? Why do you think that men value experience? Why? Because I have no idea. Like, there seems to be a notion that is circulating within the female gender as if
I think I see already where he's going with this. Yeah. I'm gonna step on the branch here and finish his sentence somewhat and say that men don't value the experience like maybe women think we do. I will say that, you know, it's noticed. It could be appreciated, maybe even. Oh, wow, my woman does da-da-da-da. I've had 50 girls and none of them could do it like her, but is it necessary? That's not what we really, I mean, especially when you're talking about a quality man. He's not, you know, at the end of the day, it's, people have sex and it's all going to lead to the twin orgasm, okay? Oh, can I even say that on YouTube? I don't know. Anyway,
You may have to bleep that out.
But go ahead.
I see what you're saying, but I also see what she's saying. Not saying that I agree with her, but I see what she's saying, because
too.
it's this whole idea around, like you said, men like an experienced woman. And the reason why that idea is out there is because these women will encounter men, or, whether they're in a relationship with them or not, and the man will judge her based off of what she doesn't know how to do. So then in a woman's mind, some women develop the idea that, oh, well, obviously men like experience, because all the other people that I've run into, whether that's past two boyfriends or whether that's, all these people that she's come across, they've said, oh, you don't know how to do this, or, you know what I mean? It's like they have this,
Like a hang up.
like a hang up, yeah. Rather than it being something where, sometimes the woman learns it over time, being in a relationship.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really address that earlier. We go back and say that yes, she learned those tricks from all those different experiences. However, it's she had to give something up to get that experience.
Yeah, she did.
She had to give something up to get that experience. What did she have to give? And I'm not necessarily talking about, of course, the act of sex, but most men don't want to settle down with a woman who is, I mean, you're out at a restaurant, hey Clarissa, or whoever, they're like, how do all these men know you? That messes with a man's ego. So she winds up losing, what's the word I'm looking for?
Her innocence.
Past innocence. Therefore, I'm talking about. It's hard for the guy that winds up settling down, typically, for him to get past the idea of her being with so many men. Okay. Yes, she's experienced, but what did she have to give up to get there? And that could keep him up at night. That could affect the trust, because another way a man could look at it is, why were you with all these men? Why? Like, and who's to say that you're not seeing other men right now while I'm with you, right? Because you got, and I know you got this good. That's how some people think. I mean, it could be, but it might not be. The thing is, now you got mind games going on in your head, and the person who's with the woman is doing it to themselves. Mm-hmm. She could be out the game. She could be, that's over, that life's out. But is he going to get over that mentally? Is he going to be able to say, okay, especially if communication is a misreading the communication between the male and his woman.
Yeah.
It could be misunderstood. Hey, she doesn't. I mean, something like as simple as he sends her a text and she doesn't reply right away because she's taking the groceries into this or whatever. You've seen those sketches where the guy is or the woman is misunderstanding what the guy is doing, and he's just hanging with the fellas. She thinks he's out with some floozy or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, let's keep this. We just started. Sorry about that, guys.
To do things that I never taught you. Right. As if to say you would not be able to please me unless you have the experience of a multitude of bodies before. That makes absolutely no sense, mama.
No sense.
I'm gonna go through the reaction again because there's certain things that I wanted to call out within this particular clip. But also let me say this as well. Shout out to this content creator. I think her name is Holiday the Golden Child. Shout out to her because I've actually did a video on her not too long ago. And I think that at the end of the day, she's speaking from her truth. And this is her truth, and this represents a component of women in 2020, 2021. It absolutely does. And no matter how many women come on to this platform and have a problem with me reviewing certain behaviors to warn men against, this is why I do it. Because notice what she said at the end of the clip. I tell my dude, you better be happy. I got all of these eggplants out of the way before I met you. But let's keep going.
Alec, how about this? It's not a whole lot of bodies, it's a whole lot of experience. And let me tell you something. No, it's not. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I had to get experience. But for me to be the girl that you're so in love with in the bedroom, I'm sorry, you don't want to know how I learned how to do that thing that you like. You don't want to learn how I know how to take the dick that way.
Why does she react that? Every time I see her reaction, I'm like,
Okay.
you had a freeze frame on that.
Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
We're here a little bit more before we respond.
Gotta pose it. I gotta pause it right here, because like I said, all right, she says one thing, orange hair, red hair, correlation, I would think so. Okay, that's why I tell you guys all the time, when you see key indicators, right, birds of a feather may or may not flock together, okay, but more often they do, okay. Look how excited that she gets when she's beginning to relive the carousel that she's been on in the past. Yeah.
What?
All that experience. Is that her left hand? Is there a ring? I don't think that I see one. But let's move on.
I had to go through a couple of penises to learn that I don't like big dick. I don't, that's not how I orgasm.
Taught you how.
That's not how I like to get hit from the back. I'm sorry, I appreciate all the bodies, because it made me the superwoman I am in the bedroom for the nigga that I plan to spend the rest of my life with. And also, having a lot of bodies, I tell my now, I'm glad you met me in the space that I am now. Why? Because I done fucked everybody I wanted to. So it's easy for me to be fucking faithful.
Wow. So
So
if she had met him sooner, she wouldn't be faithful. That's the thing that's messed up to me. Like,
Well, yeah. I mean, that could be assumed. She's basically saying she had to sow her wild oats.
I get what you're saying.
It's
I mean,
interesting.
men say that a lot of times.
Yeah.
Usually, it's usually the men.
Stereotypically, that's
Yeah.
something that you would hear from men.
Yeah.
But in this scenario, it is coming from a woman, which I find interesting, because typically you don't hear that from. That's not something that
women brag about.
it's not even a goal. Like, yeah, girl, when I got this house, I'm gonna go sow my wild oats. Like, that's not what I hear. I hear a percentage of women say one day when I get married, or a boyfriend, or not. God, I can't wait to get all this experience with these glizzies. Let me go glug 4,000. Like, I don't know. From your experience, people you know, is that something you've heard? Yeah, girl, I can't wait to have 50 men.
No. Women never say that.
Okay.
Well, I can't say women never say that because, I mean,
Yeah, I know it's some
I can't
women.
say that. I cannot
I know
say
it's
that.
some women.
Cannot say that. But, no, I mean, women want to be in relationships with men. They don't necessarily want to go sleeping around. I know from what I have seen, some women who end up having that many guys or whatever, it's not because that was their goal. It was just something that kind of happened over time.
naturally.
Yeah.
One relationship didn't work out.
Yeah, it didn't work out, and then they
want.
want. Some of them are serial daters, serial monogamous, or whatever. So
And they wind up maybe getting somewhat experience through those experiences with those men.
yeah, some women are what you would call thoughts these days. There's another word for it, but I'm not going to say it because I know how YouTube is. So are some women that are like that, but for the regular woman, that wasn't necessarily the goal. I mean, the goal was to have fun when you're young, but not necessarily in that way when it comes to
But
you know,
the thing that's
so it
interesting
just really
is that
depends.
is that she says to her boyfriend, "You better be glad. You better be glad that I became a glizzy ninja, or just like
You know,
yeah,
that was something else I was also going to bring up, because you were talking about, oh, men don't really care about that or whatever, the woman having experience or not.
Okay.
But the issue is this, because I've actually seen it recently, and I actually saw it in the past. I saw it recently more so on videos and stuff that I've seen here. In the past, I've seen it like you hear it from another person when you're in college or whatever. But it seemed like men did not necessarily appreciate the woman who withheld until marriage. And there's a lot of women like that. And even
a lot of women like that,
no, I don't mean like a lot
or
of
enough
women.
to notice.
There's not a lot of women like that. Let me rephrase. There's not a lot of women like that. But the women that are like that, I've noticed that they have said, and this is, I don't know everyone personally or whatever that's been
Right.
through this.
Right.
I've heard, and I've also seen videos on where women are saying like the men aren't really attracted to those type of women,
Yes.
like as soon as they find out that they kind of scatter, like, no, stay away from that type of person.
Because I'll tell you why. Now I was not one of these people, but I understood why. It's because a woman that loses her virginity to that guy, she clings to him. Typically. She's never had sex before, and then all of a sudden he's her first. That's an important role, and some guys don't want to do it because they understand that, and they don't want to be the one to be that bad guy, that guy that some guys don't even believe, especially as we get older, they don't believe that women are virgins, especially depending on their appearance. The more attractive they are, it's like, yeah, right. But I have seen cases where, yes, at 28, 29, virgins, yes. Very attractive too. But anyway, that's beside the point. I'm sorry, I just kind of lost my place.
We were talking about, I was basically saying there's some men that like steer away from virgins altogether.
Yeah, they stay away. They stay away from virgins for that reason, and also there are certain things that guys that have been with various women, they want to do to the woman when they get into bed, and they're not going to be able to do those things with a virgin, with somebody who's had no sexual experience. They're not going to want to go there with them. It's going to feel like, I guess to them it would feel like almost like a pedophile, right? A child knows nothing about, and then it's kind of a creepy thing, right? So I've heard this from guys, and after it was explained to me, I was like, okay, I kind of get that, but it's not a bad thing. I think that is the best way to being a virgin until marriage, if you can. And I'm not saying that wasn't something me personally that I did, but I'm for it, right? Because the things that can happen are children out of wedlock, especially in the black community. We don't need any more of that if we can help it, or at least a family unit staying together and having mentally healthy children that have seen love communicated from both opposite sex of the parents, the mother and the father, right? A healthy relationship, so they grow up and they can have a healthy relationship. But we've got too many broken relationships, and a lot of that starts all the way with, sex, unprotected sex, whatever. Oops, child is here now, and what are you gonna do about it? So yeah, let's continue. Let's hear a little bit more here.
So it's easy for me to be faithful, okay? Because I done everything. I done sufficiently spun around the carousel
How many
to my heart's
ads?
content. So now it's easier.
So many ads on this
We don't-
video.
Excuse us, folks. We're gonna get through these ads. Get your money, mediocre tutorial and reviews. Get your money.
For me to what? We cannot continue to treat this as if it is normal, because the data says the exact opposite. Let me show you. So I'm out here at the Institute of Family Studies. Guys, I've gone over this website a ton of times before, but I'll leave a link to this in the description box down below so you can do your own research and due diligence. So the question that they ask at the top, does sexual history affect marital happiness? Let's go down and take a look. So you'll see here a graph, and what this graph represents, hold on, let me move this to the side real quick. What this graph represents, the relationship between sexual history and marital satisfaction. Let me make this a little bit larger so you can see that. All right, so what you're seeing here on the y-axis, percent reporting very happy in their marriage, all right? And on the x-axis here, the number of partners that they had.
Wow.
What you guys are seeing here is, between both men and women, a decrease in marital satisfaction the more partners
Wow.
that they have. If that's not a decreasing trend line, I don't know what is. Again,
Why does it slightly increase for men between 6 to 10 partners?
Okay. No, what I noticed, men is yellow.
Yes, women
are
is blue.
But women are way lower
Yeah.
on the sexual satisfaction. The relationship between sexual, the marital satisfaction, they're much lower than. Now I'm trying to figure out. I mean, the more sexual partners that a person has, the more they have to compare to, right? A person who's had sex with only one person, they have no idea what else is going on. All they know is that one person, so they can concentrate on that one person. And they can, this is why overseas you have they have arranged marriages, and it sounds crazy to us for your parents to pick out your wife, pick out your husband. You guys haven't even seen each other, and then one day you get married. But those marriages, from what I understand, those people stay married. And I think I would even go as far to say most of them are happy marriages. I think I saw something on it.
I don't know.
I'm sure there's some jacked up marriages. Okay, I'm pretty sure somebody's abusing their privilege. Okay, but for the most part, I remember either I saw a documentary or I saw something. So I'm just kind of talking off the top of my head here. But I remember seeing something, and they were saying that a lot of those marriages, they wind up staying married, and till death do they part, and they're happy. They don't have anything else to compare to.
I would like to see the percentage and, all of that behind it, because I've heard some interesting stories. So, but you can continue.
again, link down in the description box down below if you want to read everything in this study. That's why I like to take real life circumstances and then look at numbers and data to actually, because if you look in the comment section of what she's saying, there's a lot of, yes, go ahead, honey boo boo child, and all of that shit right there, tell the truth. And it could be her truth. But let's compare people's individual truths to statistical analysis to say, on average, does this behavior add value to our lives or does it not? If your goal is to get married one day, have children within a marriage, well, it looks like the more bodies that you have, on average, the more unsuccessful that your marriage will be, leading to divorce, okay? okay? Not to mention the emotional turmoil and manipulation of the boyfriend in hearing her say, you better be lucky I done got stuffed and my viscosity and my innards plundered all those years ago, and you're stuck with this now. You better be lucky, all right? You better be lucky, because if not, if I didn't experience all of that back then, guess what? Would cheat on you. Would cheat on you any given Sunday. Now, listen, there's another part of this conversation, a much longer discussion. I wanted to get into that right now because I think there was some good things that were brought up. Let's get back in it.
Not justifiable for anybody to lesser their value, right? Whether you're a guy having sex for 500 women or you're a girl having sex with 500 men, right? No, but there's a big but. In the world that we live in today, it is way more and forever will be more socially acceptable for a man to have more sexual partners than a woman.
Get judged for nothing. Y'all do whatever y'all want, and women get blamed for everything. Women gotta be perfect. Women gotta have the perfect breasts, the perfect titties, gotta have bodies under 10. You can't everybody, but men could go. When it comes to sexual things, men just get it. When it comes to sexual things, men just get away with a lot of things.
This is what you refer to as penis envy, all right? There's a lot of things that men are not privileged in society with. There's a lot of things that women are not privileged in society with. There's a lot of things that men need to do to be determined to be successful in society. And there's a lot of things that women have to do in order to be determined to be successful in society. But to take that and to simplify it, that men get to do all of this shit and then women don't, why do men get to have less negative repercussions for having more bodies than women? Listen, we're not the same. You're built differently than me. I have an Audi, you have an innie. You look straight down and there's a difference there. And that difference
I have an Audi.
feeds into the double standard. Because I'll admit, it is a double standard. In our society, it's viewed differently. But I think the logic falls when you start trying to compare yourself to different body parts than yourself. It's different. Different mental capacities, different chemicals that fire in our brain. It's different. All right?
I think it's definitely, I mean, that's a no-brainer, it's double standards. But there's a biological reason why there's double standards.
For that particular thing, I would have to agree as well.
Yeah, number one, well, I don't know how many numbers there are, but number one, if we weren't living in the century that we're living in, a woman getting pregnant, there's all types of things that can happen. Every time, if we didn't have contraceptives, Plan Bs and all these things, every time a woman has sex, there's the possibility of getting pregnant. And every time a woman's pregnant, there's the possibility of death. So if you cut out the middle part, every time a woman has sex, she's risking her life. She's risking her life. And then when you look at who she's risking her life with, Daquan and Darius, or who, you know, just guys that are not necessarily ambitious, I'll leave it at that, then what are you doing? What are you really doing? You're out here risking your life for somebody who wouldn't think twice if you died tomorrow. That's the reality of it. But yet, they want to do what men are doing. I'm a man. I don't do what the typical man has done. Because that is not, number one, how I was raised, and I wanted to be with, I was always the guy that wanted to be with one woman. I was a one-woman guy, okay? But the typical guy, that's not how he is, but you want to be like that guy. Why? I mean, I get it, but I don't get it.
I think the issue isn't, I won't call it what he called it, but I think it's like what we were saying, it's the double standard behind it. It's why do I, like, that's what I want to do. And it may not be every woman that's like that. Most women aren't. But a lot of women aren't like that, you know. But the women that are like that, they're like, why do I have to be judged for something where he does the exact same thing. I just want it to be on equal playing ground. I don't want to have to be called a word I can't say on YouTube.
Then you would
just because I'm doing something that's similar to that of a man. And he's seeing it as what he called it. And it's I don't see it as that. I just see it as these particular women literally crave that, or they want to do that particular thing. And they want to be judged equally next to a man, rather than it being like, oh, because she did that, she's this, but because he did that, he's not that. You get what I'm saying? I think that's the issue.
I get it. You know, I get it.
I don't think they're necessarily trying to encourage it. I think that they just don't want to be judged.
They don't want to be judged
that.
for, and you know, I get it. They don't want to be judged, but once again, biology is at play here.
It's true.
And neither one of us have any say-so in biology. We can't change our makeup. This is the way, if you believe in God, this is the way God created us. And so, I don't know. What do you guys think about this? I can tell you this. Telling the boyfriend that he should be okay with that.
I thought that was crazy.
Yeah. I don't know. But what do you guys think about it, okay? Leave us a comment down below in the comment section and let us know what you think about mediocre tutorials and reviews. And this is from it was 8 something. I forgot the name of the group that put this together that he's watching. But go over there and check out his video. Check out the rest of it. We're not gonna watch the whole thing, but check out the rest of it. I'll leave a link below in the comment section. And also make sure you leave us a like, because that helps us grow in the algorithm. We're growing every day. We're growing and growing and growing. And like I said, leave us a comment. And if this is your first time watching us, consider subscribing, because we do this very, very often, guys. So do those things for us, and we will see you on the next video. Peace. Thank you.